What's up? My name is Zether. I just woke up from a bomb nap, and honestly, I didn't really feel like making this video today, but unfortunately, you guys smashed the 1,000 like goal. So here's What If Naruto with Every Stage Mode Part 2.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
We pick up our story right where I had left off from last part, so everybody would essentially be like, Naruto? As Naruto at this point would pretty much pick his hair up out of his face, as he would give everybody a cheesy smile and say, hey, as everybody would just be like, where'd you come from? You know what I mean? Like people thought you were dead. Naruto would be like, nah, I just kind of left the village for some random reasons. I was pretty much reverse summoned out of here. Everybody would be like, reverse summoned? What's that? You know what I mean? They're confused. They're like, what even is that? You know what I mean? Like, how would you feel if somebody came in and was like, I got isekai to an anime? You'd probably be like, what? What's an isekai? Unless you watch anime, of course. But yeah, that's pretty much how everybody reacted. They're like you pretty much got isekai somewhere? Naruto would be like, yeah, I ended up meeting a bunch of different animals. They were all really cool. And using an ability that I learned that I'm actually pretty good at because I have a tons of chakra, I got pretty decently strong. Everybody would look at Naruto as Naruto just proceeds to walk over towards the back of the classroom and take a seat right next to a girl with black hair, white eyes, and a really shy expression on her face. She would be twiddling her fingers thinking, Naruto-kun, I've missed you. Okay, I will never do that again. She would pretty much be twiddling her fingers thinking, I've missed you so much. You know what I mean? Naruto at this point would look at Hinata, give her a smile, and Hinata would be like, just pass out. She just immediately passes out. Because from what she last remembers Naruto had that cheesy smile. He was always so nice, and he literally saved her like a week before he just disappeared. So Hinata seeing Naruto again would just think back to when he saved her, and she would immediately just get butterflies for Naruto. At this point, however, a bunch of the girls in the class would be like, so, where have you been, Naruto? You know, completely acting like when he was 4 to 5 years old, they didn't completely just ignore him, you know what I mean? They're acting as if they never did anything wrong to him. Naruto just got here and everybody loves him. You know, they're all acting like they're buddies with him. But Naruto honestly is not holding a grudge. Naruto would just accept this, and half of the girls would be like, Naruto, like, bro, Naruto over Sasuke any days. The other half of the classroom would be like, nah, y'all got me messed up. I'm messing with that emo style Sasuke. Like that's just where me. They like that gothic stuff, you know what I mean? So Naruto would have more of the upbeat girls, more of like, no. Naruto would have more of like the go for looks girls. Sasuke would have like the, oh, he's cute and he has like this cool, like mysterious personality. So the classroom would pretty much be split in half on popularity scale, and for the following next 2 months, Naruto would pretty much just be in the academy, acing everything, looking cool, pretty much making Sasuke be like, what happened? Like, I was the coolest person ever like 2 seconds ago, and all of a sudden y'all just acting like I just don't exist. Like, what's going on? So Naruto obviously coming in and taking his mojo. Sasuke's like, hey, yo, you trying to fight, broski? So Sasuke tries to fight Naruto after, you know, pretty much kind of losing some popularity. Naruto would just completely demolish Sasuke. It was not even funny. And from here, Sasuke would proceed to train harder than ever before to try to beat Naruto and take back his alpha place in the classroom. For the last like 4 years, Sasuke would have pretty much been like the alpha dog of the classroom. So he would have never really known what it was like to get like to just have somebody come in and be like, I'm better than you. So yeah, Sasuke definitely would not have known any of that stuff. However, time skip. Yep, I know that's pretty common in this what if. Time skip to about 2 months later, and finally we would be on the day where they're all taking their final exams. Sorry guys, I went out to eat like a couple hours ago, and honestly guys, I went out to eat at this restaurant called Carabas. It was pretty good. It was like pasta, so good. Anyways, yeah, all that out of the way, So Naruto basically proceeds to, take the test, create a shadow clone. Pretty simple stuff. It doesn't actually get complicated whatsoever for Naruto. He does the thing, he aces it, not something hard. But after everything, Iruka would actually be like, all right, so the beginning of the year, or no, not the beginning of the year, but the Rookie of the Year award goes to Sasuke Uchiha. Half the class is like, oh yeah, Sasuke won, you know what I mean? And the other half is like, nah, like Naruto's way stronger than Sasuke. If anybody should have the Rookie of the Year award, it should be Naruto, you know what I mean? Naruto became pretty much an overnight sensation, sorry, just saying. And Naruto would be like, nah, it's cool, like Sasuke should have it, he's been here longer. Sasuke hearing this from Naruto would be like, shh. And Iruka seeing this, he would be like, I mean, they could just spar for it. A little friendly spar wouldn't hurt anybody. Immediately, everybody would gather outside as Naruto and Sasuke would pretty much create the hand signs for sparring. And from here, both of them would look at each other as Sasuke would rush in at Naruto's direction saying, Fireball Jutsu, as he shoots a giant fireball at him. And everybody in the class is like, yo, fireball? Like he's out here whipping fireballs out? You know what I mean? Like Geni shouldn't be able to use Jutsu, but Naruto would pretty much dodge out of the way. Sasuke would throw a kick right at Naruto. Naruto dodges it and like pretty much catches his foot and then proceeds to throw Sasuke away, to which Sasuke would land on the ground and say, fine, take this, throwing a bunch of kunai and shuriken at Naruto, to which Naruto would take his finger and stick it out, catching each and every single one of the shuriken by the circle that's in the middle, as he would spin them in his finger, twirling them, and then throw them right back at Sasuke, to the point where it would cut some of his hair when they were flying right back at him. Sasuke would look at the side of his hair and be like, what? As Naruto at this point, before Sasuke could even realize it, Sasuke would be on the ground, like instantly, and Naruto's eyes would flash red. In front of Sasuke, mind you. Now Sasuke seeing this would be like terrified, just completely shook. Sasuke was not expecting Naruto to whip out anything along the lines of what he ended up doing. So Sasuke would end up losing, and a certain somebody would be really butthurt about Sasuke not being the Rookie of the Year. And I'm guessing many of you guys already know who this is. Sakura. Yeah, Sakura Haruno, this pink-haired bimbo, would just come up to the front with the biggest forehead in the world and be like, Naruto, you don't deserve to be Rookie of the Year. If anything, I don't know why people think you're so cool now. They should just go back to treating you like a nobody, because you're just an orphan. She starts talking mad smack to Naruto. A bunch of the girls start telling her that how dare she, and Sakura will then lift her fist up as she goes to punch Naruto. Now Naruto, instinctively being in this state of constant like sage energy just flowing through his body, would instantaneously know to react to this. So he would immediately activate Dragon Sage mode, unconsciously mind you, as she would punch Naruto directly in the face, breaking her wrist, bro. She breaks her. How do you break your wrist? How do you punch somebody and break your wrist? Well, I'll tell you. Have you guys ever seen the movie Twilight? Y'all remember when Bella like slapped Jake in the face and like she broke her hand or something like that? And he was like so sorry, but it was like her fault. She was like mad at him. That's pretty much what ends up happening here. Right now, many of you guys might be like, yo, Sether, were you just watching Twilight? No, I wasn't. It's just, I watched it a long time ago. It's kind of a good movie. Okay, I get it. Y'all are probably going to flame me, but yeah. Anyways, though, she would proceed to break her wrist. And from here, Naruto would be like, oh, my bad. And he was pretty much be like, but it's not really nice to hit people. And Iruka would want to be like, hey, Naruto, like, what was that? But Naruto didn't do anything. That being said, though, the teams would be assigned with Sasuke pretty much being knocked out in the infirmary, Sakura having to have her wrist treated because she broke it trying to slap Naruto. So, yeah. When Team 7 gets, like, announced, eventually Kakashi would be really late. And when it comes to the Team 7 first meeting, Kakashi walks in and just sees Naruto sitting there. At this point, Kakashi's like, where the rest of the guys? And Naruto would be like, oh, sorry, they're like at the hospital right now. One of them has a broken wrist and the other one I knocked out a little too bad. Kakashi would be like, okay, so, this guy's clearly the strongest. And from here, he would just say, well, then I guess we're just doing it tomorrow. When you see them, tell them to meet me at this spot and don't eat or you'll regret it. Naruto would say, sure thing, Kakashi, as Kakashi would be like, dude, I never even said my name. Naruto would be like, oh, you don't have to. The old man already told me who my sensei was going to be. He's like, Iruka's not even old. Naruto would be like, nah, the Hokage. Come on now, give it the program. Kakashi's like, oh, right. As, at this point he leaves and the shadow clone dispels. Kakashi would immediately be like reading by a tree, make out paradise, as the shadow clone would give Kakashi the information and he would be like, all right. Now, after this, what ends up happening is Naruto would stop by and he would tell the team what's going on. They would both give Naruto this dirty look, and from here, Sasuke and Sakura would have this like mutual hatred towards Naruto. So if anything, both of them are kind of gonna become friends slightly, just because they both have something to gain from both hating Naruto. So what would end up happening is everybody would meet up with each other at the bell test area the very next day. And when they would do so, they would pretty much arrive and Naruto would just be passed out by the tree. When Kakashi gets there, he ends up telling them an excuse, talking about how he was lost on the path of life, right? After he does this, he would end up telling the team that they need to take these bells from him and that only 2 of them would be going to the academy. I mean, only 2 of them would end up joining his team. The other one would go to the academy. Now, at this point, Sakura and Sasuke would immediately be like, all right, we're taking that before Naruto could do anything. Naruto at this point would go lay down by a tree and say, honestly, I'm not doing it. It wouldn't be fair to you, Kakashi. You want to show off today, don't you? Kakashi would be like, what? Like, what do you mean you're not doing it? Naruto would just sit down and be like, no, sorry, Kakashi. He would give him a smile saying, come on, do the test already. As Kakashi just like sits there, just flabbergasted, as Sasuke and Sakura just come running in, the trash bag gets immediately knocked down, and Sasuke comes in trying to use his fireball jutsu, his shurikens, his taijutsu. Nothing works. Kakashi just outclasses him in every way, shape, and form. So it's not really the best thing for Sasuke. And then after this, what ends up happening is both of them actually end up getting tied to the tree stump. Naruto at this point would end up being like, all right, has it been like an hour yet? And Kakashi would straight up just be like, yeah, they've been tied up in the sun for an hour, dude. Like, are you not gonna help them? Naruto at this point would say they seriously didn't get the point of the test. As Kakashi would be like, what do you mean? And Naruto would immediately say, whatever, I guess I might as well. They're both gonna like not even see this anyways. Naruto at this point would look at Kakashi and say, so this little team exercise, right? Kakashi would be like, yeah, how'd you know about that? And Naruto would say, honestly, it's really simple. Okay, I need to be completely transparent with you guys. A mosquito flew by me, distracted me. I proceeded to pause the recording and I tried smacking it out of existence. Unfortunately, it got away, and now I'm gonna have to be in this bedroom knowing that there's a mosquito that's gonna just completely just obliterate me tonight. Like, I'm probably gonna wake up with a mosquito bite on my face. It's gonna suck. Anyways, though, like I said, Naruto would just tell Kakashi that, if he can win a fight, maybe he can allow them to retake the test or something. You know what I mean? Saying something along those lines. And Kakashi would be thinking that, honestly, that doesn't really sound like much of a way for him to win. So immediately Kakashi would be like, you know what? Sure. From here, Naruto would smile, thinking that he's gonna make up for what he did the other day right now. As Naruto would proceed to pretty much crack his knuckles, then his neck, and in classic anime, and he would get in like a classic anime stance, as he would proceed to pretty much like make the hand sign for Kakashi to come here. Now Kakashi seeing this would be like, oh, this boy trying to get disrespectful. He's holding the book and he's like, all right, we can play that game too. He would create 2 shadow clones which would immediately run towards Naruto's direction. Now Naruto at this point would jump into the air, as with both of his legs, he would cause both of the Kakashi's heads to like hit each other and like dispel the shadow clones. And from here, Naruto would proceed to essentially just look at Kakashi and say, you might want to put that book away. And Kakashi at this point would pretty much substitute out of there, create another shadow clone which would rush in at Naruto's direction using taijutsu and a fire style jutsu, which Naruto would easily dodge mid-air, mind you. Now, how would he dodge it? He would dodge it by using a sage mode, which is actually going to be something of a bit of a common trope in this what if. He would use Dragon Sage style. Now, when the fireball would come at him, Naruto would quite literally go sucking in all of the fire, and he would immediately say, finally. He would say, now I'm all fired up. No, I'm totally kidding. He wouldn't say anything like that. He would simply proceed to say, Sagear, fire dragons roar, as immediately he would just shoot a gigantic beam of flame straight at Kakashi's direction. And he would land on the ground, as he would notice that Kakashi was not the real deal. And from this point, Kakashi would be holding a kunai behind Naruto's neck, saying, "You're good, kid, but not good enough." As Naruto would say, "Really? Check again." As run behind Kakashi, he would be tapped by Naruto, who at this point is using Cheetah Sage style. Now, Kakashi would be like, "When did you?" As Naruto's like, "Dude, I am moving at speeds you could never possibly comprehend." And Kakashi would just be completely and utterly shocked, as Naruto would proceed to perform simultaneous 50 hits on Kakashi, with Kakashi just being completely like oblivious to the hits until Kakashi felt them and just fell on the ground. The man is gonna be feeling that one for a while, trust me. Now, after this though, Naruto would go over to his teammates and immediately untie them before saying that they need to start thinking more critically about these things before they rush on in there and start trying to immediately take Kakashi out. He would remind them he's a Jonin, you're a Genin for a reason, before then looking at Sasuke and saying, I need to talk to you after this. He would then tell them both that this whole point was about teamwork, and that in a real shinobi world, without teamwork, you are going to die. That's just the reality of the way that things work. If you are by yourself, fine, you'll maybe pass a couple of missions until one day an opponent comes around that's too strong for one person alone. And that's when you're going to be needing your teammates. And when you need them, without any teamwork, you'll be stranded and alone, left to die. This would hit Sakura the hardest, as Kakashi hearing this would then come in and say that, those who abandon their teammates are scum, but those who abandon the mission are like the worst. I don't know. I forget the saying, but he says something along those lines. Now, before I continue on with the what if, guys, I deeply apologize if you guys hear a bunch of barking in the background, or if you guys hear like a cricket. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I stopped the recording like 3 or 4 times, but that cricket won't go away. And my neighborhood dogs just started barking like crazy out of nowhere. I'm going to try to edit it out, but I'm not really sure if it's gonna do much, considering they're being pretty loud. However, with that being said, I might as well get back into the what if. So after all this would happen, Naruto would then go over towards Kakashi and use Slug Sage mode before then proceeding to use a couple of medical jutsu on Kakashi. Kakashi would wake up slightly and Naruto would say, "I healed you up a little bit." As, Kakashi's like, you did? Naruto would say, "Yeah, the Slug Sage mode actually taught me a little bit of that." And Kakashi would actually be, kind of grateful for that. Naruto at this point would proceed to say, "Yeah, you can thank me later." As he would say, "So are you going to agree to the terms of the battle?" Kakashi would sigh before then saying, "Sure, why not?" And actually, I just realized that all made no sense because I had Kakashi tell them something before. Let's just say he woke him up and then he told them something. So yeah, so that it makes sense within the little canonical timeline that I just messed up completely. So with that being said, what would end up happening after this is Naruto would end up actually asking Kakashi if he wants to go out for a bowl of ramen. He says he actually wants to learn a thing or two about his father, something that maybe the Toads didn't know. Kakashi hearing this would be like, "You know who your father is?" Naruto would say, "Come on now, I'm not living under a rock. I can immediately see the way that we look similar. Not only that, but the sage creatures of Mount Miyaboku told me about him." Kakashi would be like, "The sage of the what? Well, what now?" And Naruto would say, "Don't worry about it." Regardless of the fact, both of them would end up pretty much making their way towards Ichiraku Ramen, and Naruto could not be happier. Ever since he came back to the village, this is the only thing he's been eating, because from what Naruto remembers, Ichiraku used to be his favorite place to eat at, and Naruto having the chance to eat this instead of like bugs every other day, and sometimes eating meat, Naruto was just grateful beyond all belief, trust me. That being said though, what would end up happening is Naruto would start talking to Kakashi, and they both end up having these talks about Minato, the old days. Kakashi would actually end up telling Naruto that he's sorry about what happened to his father and that he probably should have came into Naruto's life sooner, but he just wasn't sure since he was also a kid and in the Ambo at the time. Naruto would say not to sweat it, seeing as things turned out just fine, and from here, Naruto would say, "You got the bill, right?" Kakashi would be like, "But you invited me," and Naruto would immediately dispel. Like not dispel, but use body flicker to get out of there, as Kakashi would sigh and see the 8 bowls of ramen that Naruto just devoured in front of him. Kakashi would be thinking, "That kid, I'm going to get him back." And from here, Naruto would pretty much appear right next to Sasuke, who would be at training grounds, pretty much training his butt off. Like he's just trying his hardest to catch up to Naruto. Naruto at this point would catch one of Sasuke's kicks, and he would then tell Sasuke that he's never gonna get strong this way. Sasuke would say, "What do you know about strength?" As I said, Sasuke would say, "What do you know about strength?" As Naruto would say, "I know quite a bit about it." But for a brief second, like showing Sasuke just how much the difference was between his and Naruto's power. It would be as if a mountain that is just completely unclimbable would have appeared before them, and this wall that would just separate them would go on for miles on end. Like the distance would be astronomical. Naruto at this point is literally in the leagues of the big dogs in the Narutoverse. So if you're thinking that the end of this video is going to be having some insane climactic battle, don't get your hopes up. I'm sorry, but with the fact that Naruto's going to be having so many Sage Mode, plus the ones from part 1 that I still haven't even talked about yet, it's going to not be fun. Naruto's one of his strongest Sage Modes is his Gorilla or Ape Sage Mode, which pretty much allows him to have the power of an ape. Like they weigh a lot. They weigh like what, like 500 pounds in pure muscle, and then they have like 3,000 pounds in strength. Bro, gorillas are insane. So yeah, nonetheless, Naruto's Sage Mode with that, it's just on a whole nother level. You remember the Toads, how they got pretty strong? Yeah, imagine that, but like times like 100. Like it's not funny, bro. That's their whole thing, you know, that's their whole power up. That being said though, after Sasuke sees this, he would think like this power, it's incredible. And Naruto would say, "Yeah, and you can have it too, but you need to let go of that hatred, Sasuke. That's not gonna lead you anywhere good." Sasuke would turn his head away from Naruto saying, "The hell do you know about hatred? I was born in it. You left for a couple years and you don't know anything about me. You don't know what I've been through." Naruto would say, "Oh, I know exactly what you've been through. And I can tell you now, that's not gonna lead you anywhere good." Sasuke would turn his head away from Naruto and say, "So what? You think I should just turn a new leaf and forgive him? I'll never do that. I'm an Avenger, Naruto. It doesn't matter how strong you are. You could never compare to my big brother." As Sasuke would begin slowly walking away, and Naruto would say, "But what if you could compare to him?" And Sasuke would turn his attentions towards him as he would say, "What?" But that, ladies and gentlemen, is where I'm going to be ending What If Naruto Had Every Sage Mode Part 2. I'm gonna go take a shower now because, yeah, if you guys smash 500 likes on this video, I'll drop part 3. Maybe I'll even make it into a movie. I don't know. If you guys want it to be a movie, drop 1,000 likes. If you don't, drop 500. But it doesn't really matter to me. Anyways, though, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I love each and every single one of you guys. It has been your boy Zither. I'm out. Peace. Bye.